This is the 2026 World Cup. 48 teams, 104 matches, the biggest tournament in football history. And most fans think they know the story so far. Messi's last dance, Haaland's arrival, Brazil going home early. But that's a massive understatement. So I went through the data of every single match played so far, all 88 of them, and I found 6 charts that completely change how you see this World Cup. And the first one isn't about a superstar at all. This chart tracks one simple thing: goals scored by substitutes at each World Cup. Not starters, not stars, the guy sitting on the bench. In 2018, subs scored 16 goals across the whole tournament. In 2022, with 5 subs allowed for the first time, that jumped to 30. Fair enough, more subs, more goals, but look at 2026, 46, and the tournament isn't even finished. That's not a step up. That's as many goals as the last 2 World Cups combined. Let that sink in. Every substitute goal from Russia and Qatar together matched in a single tournament, with games still left to play, and it's not just volume. Norway's Andreas Schjelderup came off the bench and registered 2 assists in a knockout match. Only one other player in World Cup history had ever done that: Anthony Gordon. Also, this tournament. For 90 years, football was decided by the 11 guys who started. Not anymore. In 2026, the bench doesn't just close out games, the bench wins them. But if the bench is rewriting football's rules, one starter is rewriting its history books, and he's doing it in his first ever World Cup. This chart shows goals scored by legends in their debut World Cup, not their best World Cup. Their first one, the tournament where nerves eat you alive and grown men shrink. Down here, 1 goal each, you've got 2 names you might recognize: Lionel Messi, 2006, Cristiano Ronaldo, 2006. Mbappe announced himself in 2018 with 4. Even Maradona only managed 2 in 82. Now look at the red bar. Erling Haaland, 7 goals in his first World Cup. That's more than Messi, Mbappe, and Ronaldo scored in their debuts combined. It's the most in a debut tournament since Grzegorz Lato in 1974, and Lato needed the whole tournament to get there. And before you say he's just a poacher feasting on small teams, this chart tracks shot conversion. Haaland has scored his 7 goals from just 18 shots, 39%, the best conversion rate in a single World Cup in 40 years, sitting right next to Gary Lineker's legendary 1986. Oh, and 2 of those goals against Brazil in the knockouts, sending the 5-time champions to their first pre-quarterfinal exit since 1990. Norway waited 28 years to come back to a World Cup. 5 of their starters weren't even born the last time they played one, and their strikers showed up like he'd been here his whole life. Every generation gets one debut like this. This is ours. But here's the thing about new kings. Somewhere out there, the old king is watching, and he's not done. This chart is Messi's last 9 World Cup games. Every white bar is Qatar 2022, age 35. Every red bar is right now, age 38, turning 39 during this tournament. He has scored in every single one of them. Australia, Netherlands, Croatia, the final against France. Then he shows up in 2026 and opens with a hat trick against Algeria, the oldest player to ever score a World Cup hat trick, then Austria, then Jordan, then the round of 32, then Egypt. 9 straight World Cup games with a goal. Nobody in history has done that. Nobody's close. And buried inside that streak is an even crazier record. He's the first player ever to score in 6 consecutive knockout matches. Knockout football is where legends choke. Messi treats it like a warm-up. The numbers around this streak are just as unhinged. His 8 goals this tournament are the most. Through a team's opening 5 games since Gerd Müller in 1970, he passed close to become the outright all-time World Cup top scorer, and with 9 career World Cup assists, he broke his tie with Maradona for the most since records began. Most players decline in their late 30s. Messi looked at that curve and decided it didn't apply to him, but Messi's streak is only half of Argentina's madness, because what this team is doing as a unit might be even harder to believe. This chart breaks down every Argentina goal at this World Cup by match minute. Look at the distribution. Fairly normal. And then the final 15 minutes, 8 goals from the 76th minute or later. That ties West Germany 1954 for the most late goals in a single World Cup ever. A 72-year-old record, matched with games still to play, and one match tells you everything about how. Round of 16, Egypt. Argentina are 2-0 down with 15 minutes left. The defending champions dead and buried. Then they scored 3 goals in the final 13 minutes. No team in World Cup history had ever won a knockout match in regulation from 2 goals down that late. No reigning champion had ever come back from 2+ down period. Enzo Fernandez's winner was the 10th match-winning goal scored in the 99th minute at this World Cup, which, by the way, is also the most of any edition ever. Zoom out and it gets scarier. Argentina have now scored multiple goals in 11 straight World Cup matches. The only team to ever match that streak, Uruguay. Between 1930 and 1954, some teams hope to win. This team simply assumes it. And when the clock says 15 minutes left, that's not the end of the game. That's when Argentina starts playing. But while champions were being reborn, one empire was quietly collapsing, and it took 50 years of history down with it. This is Germany's complete World Cup penalty shootout history. 1982, France, win. 1986, Mexico, win. 1990, England, win. 2006, Argentina, win. 4 shootouts, 4 wins. The most feared penalty takers on planet Earth. English fans are nodding right now. Then came Paraguay. For the first time in World Cup history, Germany lost a shootout. And you have to understand how deep this goes. The last time Germany lost a shootout in any competition was the Euro 1976 final, 50 years ago, before those 5 Norwegian starters' parents were born. Before this night, exactly 1 German had ever missed a penalty in a World Cup shootout. Uli Stielike, back in 1982. 1 miss in 44 years. Against Paraguay, 3 Germans missed in a single night. Havertz, Woltemade, Ta. And if that doesn't hurt enough, look at this. Over 120 minutes, Germany completed 719 passes. Paraguay completed 161. Germany quadrupled them on the ball and went home anyway. Football doesn't care how pretty your passing is. It cares who holds their nerve at the end. Empires don't fall loudly. They fall on a Tuesday night from 12 yards. But while one giant collapsed, another has been quietly building something, and almost nobody is talking about it. Everyone argues about which player rules football, but this chart asks a different question: which nation does? It counts every World Cup goal scored since 2014. Germany 37, Argentina 37, Brazil 36, Netherlands 36, all packed together, all elite. And then there's France. 53, 16 clear of everyone. That's not a lead, that's a different sport. France have scored 3 or more goals in each of their last 5 World Cup matches, the longest streak in the history of the competition. A final in 2018, won. A final in 2022, lost on penalties after scoring 3. And now this, and the engine behind it? Kylian Mbappe now has 4 multi-goal games in the World Cup knockout stages. The next best in history has 2. He's not ahead of the all-time greats. He's double them. 7 multi-goal World Cup games overall, also a record. And this tournament, he passed Pelé for the 2nd most goal contributions in World Cup history. The only man above him now is Messi. We spent a decade asking who comes after Messi and Ronaldo. Turns out the answer was already 3 World Cups deep into his own dynasty. So that's the 2026 World Cup so far, told by the data. And here's the wildest part. All of this happened in just the group stage and 2 knockout rounds. The quarterfinals, the semifinals, the final, none of it has been played yet. So subscribe, because when this tournament ends, I'm running the numbers one more time.